we want to have more properties than purses. We want to show people to buy like hard assets that actually increase their net worth and not rent and be worth, say $0 and you're paying your landlord's rent versus, owning something substantial and being worth $500,000 or $1 million or $2 million or $3 million. So I think that's always been really good for our lead gen.
Welcome to the show, guys. This is Jenny Woon from In the House Podcast, and we have Amy Leong and Ally Ballam of Engel Völkers. Welcome to the show, guys.
Hi, Jenny. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
First of all, did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got it.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you. So you guys are Vancouver's top real estate agents and advisors of Engel Völkers, and I just met you for lunch this last Wednesday. We were getting together for our Framework Retreats event that's being held on February 2nd. So I'm really excited to hear all about the top secrets that you have to share with some of our listeners and some of our guests that have signed up to join us on that retreat. But for those listeners who are across Canada, who are in the United States that don't follow you, although I want to mention congratulations on having so many subscribers on your IG. I know you guys are always guesting on other podcasts and stuff, but tell us a little bit about yourself and how you guys started in the business together.
Sure. I think Ally does a good job of explaining this, of how we met.
Yeah, so we actually met when we were doing our real estate course. So in our post-licensing course, we were that week that you have to, now I think it's a few months or different now, but we sat beside each other for the whole week. And so we got to know about each other, kind of like what our goals were, what we kind of saw ourselves doing in real estate. And so it was really cute because at the end, Amy said, she slid over her book and she said, to
kick butt
in real estate. And she's like, sign here. And right away I was like, yep, okay, done. I'm signing right here. I'm like, this girl and I are going to be great friends, if not, real estate partners one day. And so even just from the get-go, it was
it's good synergy.
It was good synergy, yeah. Mm-hmm. And then so, but when I first started, I was actually working out in the Tri-Cities. My mom was a realtor, but just, she did very part-time real estate. She was trying to get out of the business. So I started and I was working in the Tri-Cities, and then, Amy can talk about, she was working downtown in Vancouver in Yaletown. And then we started doing a lot of co-lists together, which is nice because agents out there, collaboration is key to get your career going. If you're a new agent, and you are getting a listing and you're afraid to go on your own, bring another agent from your office. Bring them to the listing appointment, listen to what they have to say, share your commissions, like collaboration. We can't say that enough. And so we started doing a lot of collaborations and co-listings and even working with buyers agents together in downtown and out in the Tri-Cities. And so we developed a very good work relationship. And then about 4 years ago, we partnered up. Mm-hmm.
So you guys were individual agents first and then decided to partner up. So obviously there's a lot of benefits to partnering up, but there's also a lot of errors and trials that you have to come across. And I know that there's so many agents that want to partner up, but they're kind of hesitant because they're like, well, who carries the cost? Who's responsible for what? So tell us a day in the life of Amy and Ally. How does that look like? Because you guys have so much energy and positivity, and you guys are running around the entire city and kind of taking over this business. Tell us what a day looks like.
Well, first of all, we do not put on high heels.
Yes.
that selling sunset, that heel, I don't know who's doing a lot of deals in those heels, but it's impressive nonetheless. So I put on my rain boots. Ally puts on her boots. But no, we literally feel like we're vibrating sometimes. So when we're together, it feels like a little bit of magic. And I think that's, if you're thinking of partnering with someone, it's so important to feel like your energy levels are at the same, your work ethics the same. because I think it's hard if somebody, only wants to work, say, 3 days a week, and then, you're always working 7, then that's where the push and pull comes in, and maybe, you start getting resentment. And a lot of people that I know that have partnered, that always becomes a thing. It is, you're not working hard enough, or I'm working hard enough,
or I only want to work till 5 p.m. and I'm off work after that, which we know, some
it doesn't really work. And again, I think, when I met Ally, I just thought, oh my gosh, like she just is a crazy workaholic, and so am I. And so it kind of just worked really well, because we do struggle with balance, that we're not going to lie. That's always been a thing. But now I think we've gotten to the point where we'll discuss, and you had asked Jenny about, lead gen and how that looks. We are working on a bigger structure. So now a day in the life would be, having a team meeting. We had that the other day, and we wrote, all these different revenue streams up on the blackboard, and really just had a brain dump, we call them, where, our assistant, now he's transitioning into a licensed, full agent now. We just sat with him and we said, okay, what do you like to do? What do you hate to do? And we each kind of went around to each other and said, tell us, from paperwork to the back end to website management to podcast to
client relations,
what drives you and what doesn't. And it was interesting to hear, some people, everyone has their own MO and what makes their, real estate mojo fire off. And it was surprising to kind of be open and transparent, because, we fly by the seat of our pants, and doing 100+ deals a year between the two of us, we don't have a lot of time to sit down and actually discuss as many people might think we do with each other. We do it in the car when we're, between showings. But we're going to work on more focused meetings and really flourishing what we love to do now after 8 years in the business. So
let's backpedal a little bit, because you joined after 4 years of solopreneurship as an individual agent. What are some of the red flags or signals an agent should recognize before they know they need to either add an assistant or partner up like you guys did?
I think for me, I love collaborating. And so like Amy said, when we get together, it's like magic. We get really excited, like we're buzzing after, a good talk or a good meeting. And I think on your own, you can kind of get, for me, I was like, oh, like I'm doing all this business. I'm kind of getting like, how much more can I grow, right? But I can only grow so much being one individual person. I can only be at so many places at once, right? And so for me, it wasn't that I was dropping the ball on some things, but I wasn't able to service all my clients, with just who I was as a person, one individual. So with us partnering up, we were able to cover
the workload. And I wasn't an individual agent before. Like I worked with a top agent, and really that helped catapult as well me. And I learned very quickly. But I think, again, it all depends on synergy with somebody, because, you can continue to grow, and you have to be on the same page. And I think Ally and I do that really well together. So it's been, we haven't really looked back after partnering. It's just more of focusing on how do we grow the team now, because we get asked a lot from new agents, and, we've kind of not kept that door closed. It's just that we've been picky with who we bring on, because they have to match our kind of frequency and how we do business. So that's has only been our hesitation.
And our goals too, I think that's super important, and where we had our 3 to 5 year goals meeting the other day. And I think it's really hard to find people that are on the same page as us, because, it's great. A lot of people love balance, which we love balance, but we also love to work hard. And, we love the reward of like seeing our clients, hit crazy milestones, and like Amy said, allowing them to reach their goals and helping all of our clients, essentially be financially free. It's very important to us. So, as long as they're on the same page as you are, you just got to make sure it's from the get-go that you guys do have the same goals.
Right fit. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Totally makes sense, guys. And you're talking about frequency. How about responsibilities? So are you guys answering the same, like receiving the same emails, who replies back, simple things like that, who deals with the listing presentations, who, when, Ali, when you're back home and you've got your kids to take care of, like, is there an kind of like, already, like Amy already knows what to pick up on because you guys are having the same conversations at the same time with the client. So tell us how that logistics work.
Yeah, I think for us, it's we have some clients that from the beginning of when we got together, we really share, and we call some people would call them whale clients or however they do a lot of transactions. And so with that, we're kind of both hands-on for them. Some clients, like, pre-sale wise, we do a lot of pre-sale, just like you, Jenny. I know you do a lot of pre-sale developments, depending on who has the relationship with the developer or the sales team. But we both kind of equally push out that development, for example, with pre-sale. But answering emails, if it's someone that we've both kind of met initially, then great, we can kind of just both handle it. So we do a WhatsApp chat group with all of our clients or an iMessage. So we ask them early on, what do you like to use? Because some people don't want to use WhatsApp and some people love their iMessage. So
only emails, so it just depends on the client.
Or emails. So I think that's good to ask your client right away, like, how do you like to communicate? Because it doesn't really matter how we like to communicate. We'll get a hold of you either way. But how do you like to be, connected to us? So we have that will be for listings, that will be for buyers. We also loop in our assistant, so he's always on there. So we don't handle any of the showing requests because that's time consuming and not the best use of our time. So that's a good tip for any agents, kind of struggling with, having balance a little bit more, is any of the mundane things, like, you don't have to have always, asking for a listing to be shown. Like, get someone else to do that if you have that, manpower or leverage to hire someone. So we have that always, they're always looped in. I think communication is so key these days because if you can tackle communication and take a real hold of it, it helps your whole business, because then you can do more volumes of sales. Because you can have 10 chat groups going, and then you can have, and your assistant, or maybe you have 2 assistants, they're always looped into everything. So they know role wise, I'm going to be doing anything that someone says, hey, what about this listing? And we all get that a lot. Hey, what about this property? Okay, in the back end, they're the ones that are going to go look up how much those people bought it for. And they're going to look up, thoughts on, we have a lot of templates. So some people right now shopping go, oh, what do you think this could go for? That's a common question, but they don't realize in the back end how long that can take to give an answer within a good range of, well, it could do this, or it could go between $1,050,000 and 1.4.
Yeah.
Right. So, but our assistant, and who's licensed and up and running, and we did the training, can answer those questions in a templated email and fire that off within 2-hour time frame. So people really appreciate how responsive Ali and I are at all times. But we have a little tripod going in the back end.
Which is nice too, because like you said, if I'm at home, I've got my little guy, but I thankfully have an amazing husband who's home with them full time, but we can answer each other's emails. So if a client emails us, we're all in the group message, either I'll get it or Amy will get it, or Alan. So one of us will respond to the client in a very timely fashion. So if I'm busy or Amy's busy or Alan's busy, one of us will answer the email.
Right. They get like a 2-for-1, 3-for-1. This is like the absolute best scenario solution for any client. If you could break down, you guys are obviously top producers, 8 years in the business. You've sold over $7 million of real estate, or is it that commission? Is that, I know you're mentioning 700 million in transactions. Top 10 advisors in Engel and Völkers. So congratulations on all the success in the 8 years. I know it's not easy to build that up. You're consistently ranked in the Medallion Club top 2%. So I want to know, for our listeners as well, what are your top 3 ways to get leads?
So I guess I'll answer this because I love lead gen. It's my favorite thing to do. So early on, it was really important for us to distinguish ourselves between other agents. Like there is, I don't know the stat, maybe Jenny, but I think it's over 14,000 realtors.
14,426.
Think of how every day you can wake up and think, how am I going to get someone to come knock on my door for real estate business? Just like a dentist or a doctor, they don't go cold call. They don't, you don't have your dentist calling you, hey, do you need a checkup? Or, hey, can I, fill that cavity? So I think that's always been how I wanted to shape, our business. Ally's a powerhouse with sales and closings, and she loves being out, showing clients and this and that. I do too, but I love business development. So that's how we've really had a good kind of duo going with us. So I would say lead gen, separate yourself from the pack. Why is there always a top 1%, or why do, in all of our kind of societal things, there's always a top 1% or top 10%. So we do that because those people in that top, percentile separate themselves from the rest of the masses. And so every day we wake up, we're like, well, how do we do that? And it's, by doing things like, I don't think many agents can maybe have the same knowledge as us in investment real estate, for example. We've spent the last 12 years investing in it since we were young. Both Ally and I bought our first places at 24 years old. And so we've now amassed, a nice property portfolio together of 13 properties. And so people want to know how we did that. And it's a lot of studying and a lot of, they say it takes 10,000 hours to be an expert in something. I think we're at 20,000 hours. So people don't really see in the back end what we're reading. Right now, Ally and I downloaded a book, and in our spare time, we're reading about all of the tax laws of how to buy cross-border and the tax implications and the structuring. And so we want to be on such a high level, and that for lead gen is huge, because then we can help people that want to retire early in real estate. But it's not just, oh, how do I do this? Or should I just buy one property or two? It's like a full consult with us.
And I think one thing that I want to stress, because Amy's literally the best person I've ever seen at it, is when she talks about lead gen too, it's also offering our clients value. So she's queen at finding the best off market, best pre-sales, adding so much value to our clients. And I think that's super important because our clients trust us. Amy can literally call any of our clients and say, I've got the best deal here. They're like, you pick something for me, right? So I think having that relationship with your clients, it's huge. It's invaluable. And I think all the research that she's done, researching the best projects, she loves doing it, but it's also not just for her, it's to value our clients, to add value, to allow them to retire early, to, increase their generational wealth and net worth, right? We all want to see everyone succeed. And I think that's what's really important. I think I'm not just doing this because, you want to make money and there's great money in it, but also you want to help other people. And like Amy said the other day, she wants to impact the world, which is a pretty cool thing to hear, right? And I'm like, wow, that even made me inspired. It's a pretty cool thing to.
Yeah, I think it's to show people. I think for lead gen, it's to show people that you can do that. It's a tricky thing because any girl, and we talk about this a lot, can throw on a bikini and post it, and everyone likes it. But where is the substance behind that post? Or where? And then if she puts a cool tagline or some catchy quote, then amazing, because there's a value. She's going to inspire somebody. Our MO has always been, forget all that. We want to have more properties than purses. We want to show people to buy hard assets that actually increase their net worth and not rent and be worth, say $0 and you're paying your landlord's rent versus, owning something substantial and being worth $500,000 or $1 million or $2 million or $3 million. So I think that's always been really good for our lead gen, is to show not only women, because that's what we're very passionate about, but it's also the younger generation that we need more substance out there. So that's been a huge lead gen funnel for us. Is one of our best, one of our really good clients, he's bought now, I think 3 or 4 properties from us, but he's 30 years old and he got inheritance money. And, he said, you're the only 2 realtors that I could find, and I interviewed many, that knew where to put $1 million, like within 30 seconds. So again, for any new realtors or realtors trying to enhance, their, toolbox of things to use for sales, is learn that. You learn that. Learn it inside and out. And if you can't answer that question, then why can't you answer that question? Go get more books. Go listen to podcasts. Like, that's what we're doing when we're driving. We're not wasting time and scrolling through. Sure, we can go through the Instagram or the IG vortex, but we catch ourselves to say, if you're going to have an impact on the world or your clients, and they know that they're going to trust you when they call, they know I'm not just, not doing anything purposeful in my spare time. Like we have to continue to really up the level and up the game. So we've been working on that for lead gen for sure. So top one I would say is,
that's definitely, a value added service that you absolutely cannot find in a lot of agents, where they're being proactive and looking for properties. They're just waiting for the phone call, for their phone to ring, and waiting for their client to be like, I'm ready to buy. But you're out there looking for properties. Let's go over two more tips that you get leads. But also I want to touch on, before I forget this question, how are you finding these off-market properties? Because I know we're all trying to wait by the laptop and waiting for these new listings to come on. So let's touch on that, how you're finding properties.
Yeah. And like Ally just called the other day on one for our clients because they've sold and now have to buy, and it's as we all know, a 30-year low. So Ally gave a call to an expired listing, and they still wanted to sell. So again, we're not reinventing the wheel. It's just expired listings. Go pour through them, and if it fits what your clients want, give those agents a call. Collaboration. We're not sidestepping the agent. We don't, we could go straight to the owner. It's not like that for us. We just want to do a deal. And so we will always call the recent agent and say, hey, can you get a hold of your client? Do they still want to sell? And usually that agent will be awesome. Like you had.
And I think it's super important, like Amy said, because there are a lot of agents out there that want to get the deal done. They do want to, cut out the middleman and provide an offer to the seller. The thing is that listing agent has a relationship with the seller, right? So you want to use that relationship as leverage for your client to get the best deal. The agent wants to make money, you want to make money, right? So I think it's really important to include them. And they'll also give you insight too on what the seller's, expectations are, give you a little bit more information to also help you on the buyer side get a deal done. So it's really important.
I love that way of leveraging, because a lot of agents would be like, nope, I'm going to go knock on their door, skip out on the listing agent and not involve them. But you guys are so collaborative because you want to get the deal done. And that just skips so many interpersonal conversations that they've already had that you don't need to go through, which is great.
And I think as well, we use, there's a big WhatsApp chat group of top producers that we're part of. There's Facebook ones that a lot of agents that we've talked to don't even know about them. And we're appreciative and blessed to be in these powerhouse circles, and we all share listings. And so I think, but you don't have to be top of your game right now. Like if we were starting in the business, we would tell you, ask in your office, go to the top producer and say, is there anything that you know of that for off-market properties, or could you let me know if you have any, or just to touch, it's just a quick little question, and then that top producer knows wow, this person is really stepping up their game, and no one's asked us in our office, or no new agents asked Ally and I any of that. So I think, again, you've got to think outside the box, and you've got to see, how do I differentiate myself from the 4,400 and whatever realtors out there? Ask yourself that every day, and I think you'll do really well, because no one wakes up thinking that.
Totally. Yeah. And you're super transparent and open about the deals that you're doing, where they fall into the flow chart, what your goals are for the year. And I love that about you guys, because you definitely inspire, empower women in this business to just keep going. And it looks like you guys are hustling, but you guys also love and enjoy life. I love that about you guys.
Oh, yeah. We want to surf with you, Jenny.
You guys are going as much fabulous vacations. You don't need to be surfing. Kill yourself in the water. My next question is, you mentioned you have 13 properties. So awesome portfolio at your age. And I wanted to know, you guys recently acquired a property in Scottsdale. And when we were chatting in person, you mentioned that, Ali, your husband's a dual citizen in the States. And that's probably how, maybe that's what got you guys interested in Scottsdale. But I know you're exploring other states. And I want to know, tell our listeners actually how you decided to go outside of our familiar neighborhoods here, because obviously it makes sense to invest in Vancouver, and why you haven't explored more in Vancouver. I think you and I, we all know, but for the listeners that don't understand our prices here, but also kind of the process of what you had to go through to buy a property outside of Canada.
So we'll start, and then Ellie, because
Yeah,
she knows everything about Arizona, and that's where, because of her husband, and I think even before
we've been thinking about it for about 3.5 years. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been a long time in the making. Okay. But I think for Vancouver is always home. It's always a home base. I think for all of us, it's just because the inventory is so low, and we're always trying to add value to our clients. Sometimes we let the data and the money and the cash flows guide us. So if that's, Ali and I acquired a property in downtown Victoria during COVID when no one was going back to UVic. So there was, and it's quite a big university town. So again, things like that, we're always looking at, we go against the grain a lot. And that kind of coincides with, again, being away from the masses. Do you want to be lined up, for a amazing running shoe down the street with 1,000 people? No. Would you like to shop in the back of the store for the same running shoe or better privately with your own private shopper? Yeah. So that's how we look at it for real estate. We are the private shoppers for our clients. And sometimes it just doesn't work in Vancouver. It has gotten so expensive, just like New York or London. We're a young city, but man, are we getting some crazy, amazing architecture, and people have to pay for that. So we are getting ultra wealthy. They've been around for a long time in Vancouver. We're never going to stop, but it's a different investment vehicle. It's for people that have quite a lot of wealth. Maybe they've started in the suburbs and worked their way into downtown core. And then it's more of an appreciation play, and the immigration that's going to be seen here, it's going to be huge, right? So again, there's a lot of things happening in economics that we could go on forever, but Vancouver is a good place to invest for a certain person. But if, we're trying to help people retire early right now that are young. Yeah, I personally had to buy out in South Surrey, my first property. It was a 45-minute to an hour drive from Vancouver. It took a long time. It took me 8 years to buy in East Vancouver, so because I didn't come from any money and my parents never invested in real estate. And so it was hard. But, when we look and see where is the cash flow, sometimes it's going to be, we were pitching Langley and Kelowna before any realtors had really seen what you could do in Kelowna. That we were having webinars, a year before it got crazy. And that's when you make the most amount of return. Our clients that listened back then,
absolutely.
My goodness, and actually a lot of realtors buy with us, and we manage a lot of their portfolios because they don't have the time and don't want to study it. So we helped our realtor friends make tons of money. But now we're looking at other markets, and then Ali,
And that's the thing with other markets, and yeah, people have to understand, this Arizona market, we've been studying it for the past couple of years. So it hasn't been something that we just kind of it fell in our lap and we just went with it. We bought 2 places there in the last 4 months. We've been studying it, and we have interviewed the top agents, and now we have an agent down there that we trust. And he is unbelievable. He finds some pretty crazy good deals for our clients. And so for us, we're okay, well, the cash flow isn't here. When you're buying something in downtown Vancouver for $700,000 for a 1-bed and den, you're paying into it every month, right? It's not cash flowing. So when we looked into the US market, and particularly Arizona, we looked at, more of a lifestyle change for our clients, right? Where can we find properties where our clients can use, 2-3 weeks out of the year, get away from our cold winters and go down there and golf or there's lots of events to go to. Where can we create cash flow for our clients? And so when we started seeing numbers down there where revenues are anywhere from $80,000 to $100,000 a year for $650,000 to $750,000 properties with only 20% down, we thought, wow, what a great, great time to repurpose our clients' money and put it into a market where the cash flow is so unbelievable that it can help pay for their mortgage here.
So it sounds like because of all the studying of years of studying the market, it's do you guys have like a blueprint or something to follow so that the numbers make sense in front of a person rather than just you trying to sell the idea to someone?
Like our spreadsheets, like I love spreadsheets and running numbers. So we've got that. Like even if you go on our website, amyandally.com, we have an investment blueprint that anyone can download. So realtors, feel free to steal it. But it's a lot of economics. It's a lot of fundamentals, looking at, where is the highest wealth concentration, right? For, people that live in the States, it's going to be Arizona, Texas, Florida, so again, but you need to know that, and you need to be able to study it as if you're going to a university and taking a course. It's on a different level, so it inside and out. And that's what we spent, the last 3 years learning. So it might seem like we bought 2 houses in 4 months and that was super quick, but behind the scenes, and Jenny, that of all people, how much work it takes to deliver and to make sure that we're the guinea pigs, because we like to walk the talk, and that's one thing that's so important to us. You have to be able to do it yourself and learn. So sometimes it might be out of your comfort zone, or new agents are like, oh, I don't, actually even seasoned agents, some of them don't own real estate, and that's okay, but you're not going to be able to add this part, a big arm to your business.
Your personal journey. Yeah, your personal journey that you've gone through it, and then you can tell them the mistakes that you've encountered or the obstacles that you had to overcome. Other than Arizona, are there any other hot spots that we should be aware of?
Yeah, so we're flying next month to Florida for a cash flow property tour. And so, again, we'll post that on IG, and we'll post the numbers. And for us, it's always been transparency, showing people, screenshotting our Airbnb account to show the actual revenue, right? And if you don't you can't be able to tell. So I think Florida is really, really good. We've heard it's really good cash on cash returns. And then for myself, I actually just bought in Los Cabos, Mexico. Again, I've been studying that for about 2 years, wanting a house, and felt like I got priced out of that market, but was able to get, a beautiful luxury condo for $215 a square foot. So yeah, practically free, right? So, again, different ballgame for financing. Totally different.
Wait, is that pesos or in
US
Canadian dollars?
US dollars. So it ended up being,
Wish it was in pesos.
Yes, I wish it was in pesos. Oh, I would have bought the whole shebang. But yeah, it's just cool. I think that's where Ally and I are starting to challenge ourselves and challenge our clients and our realtor friends to say, we're sitting down with a couple of our realtor friends next week, and they're interested themselves, and it's so great. And, yes, a border can be a total barrier. We get that. But when I think of our clients from, say, Singapore that have never set foot in their marina side property in Yaletown ever, since Concord Pacific sold it to them 20 years ago, why can they do that and we can't, right? And this has been happening for years. It's nothing new. It's just, I think COVID has created an amazing opportunity if you can see it, right? I think a lot of times people feel really depressed and anxious, and yes, they don't want to travel. We get that. But there is an opportunity for you to, take hold of your wealth and take hold of your lifestyle enhancement and have a place that pays you when you're not there surfing, or it pays you when you're not there enjoying a margarita on the beach. Like, we should take hold of our financial futures right now, instead of letting something like COVID or the pandemic suck us dry. That's, you're going to go downhill really quickly. So it's our job, and we're really pushing ourselves to buy ourselves so we can show people, yes, it works. And then now, as we're sitting in, say, my North Vancouver home that is very expensive, that Los Cabos property is going to pay for me to live for free in our house.
I think that's what's important to show.
Very important.
It is, for sure. And and that's the thing. A client called Amy and I the other day, and his goals was, he wants to own 2 properties where his cash flow will be paying for his eventually, East Vancouver home. Well, let's be honest. I mean, he says $2 million, right? $2 million home. His mortgage on that, say $6,000 a month. He wants to be able to have cash flow. You cannot generate $3,000 a month cash flow off each property in downtown Vancouver. It just doesn't exist, especially with Airbnb laws getting a lot more strict in a lot of buildings now, enforcing it out. So I think it's very important. Like Amy said, her property is going to pay for her whole mortgage here, right? That's a very point that you should, emphasize. It's a luxury, right?
Yeah. And it's possible. I think a lot of people, I think that's what we love doing, is showing that. And for agents, you've got to show that, I think that's the key is, and if you don't want to do that, and that isn't your forte, that's okay. A lot of our other clients, that's why we love to collab. Like if our, realtor friends in our office, we split things with them because they're like, well, girls, you've studied it. You know everything about it inside and out, tax structures and all these crazy things. We don't have the time, but what we can do is hand over this lead, close it together, split it, say 50-50. And that's what we keep reiterating is 50% is better than 0%. Right? So
0. I love that mentality. You guys are fearless and risque. I love that. And very calculated, I must add. You guys talked about bringing in other agents and talking to them and encouraging them to also invest. I want to talk about cash flow game night because it sounds so fun, and I want to get invited one of these nights. I know with COVID, you haven't been able to host these game nights, but when it goes back to normal, what is this game night all about?
Yeah, I used to play it when I was part of an investment group, like when I was younger. Again, had no clue how to invest in real estate, so I pushed myself to go to places like the library. I would go on meetup.com and try to learn, like, who do I surround myself with? Because when you're 24 years old or 25, none of my girlfriends own real estate. I was playing that game in actually Metrotown Mall, of all places, like 9 years ago with strangers. And I had so much fun and I loved it so much that I thought, later on when we were starting to really help investors, and I knew how much, Ally had owned, a couple of properties by the time I met her. And we just thought this would be so fun to do at, our office and show people. So it's the Rich Dad Poor Dad cash flow game that you can get on Amazon. And it's so fun to play with people. And it's a great lead gen. It really is, because you're with like-minded individuals who want to grow themselves, to the next level. Yeah, so it was so fun, and we really do, miss it, and we want to ramp it up again. Just got to get this COVID business under control, which
hopefully soon. And it's a nice way for us to also touch our clients too, right? Like if you have something to offer your clients, it's nice for, say once every 2 or 3 months we do, client appreciation night where we do the cash flow game night. It's a way to touch them in a fun, social atmosphere.
Everybody loves to be educated, absolutely. So we're almost at the top of the hour. I know you guys have such a busy schedule ahead of you. It's Friday, getting ready for the weekend. Do you have time for 5 rapid fire questions?
You got it.
Go for it.
It's super fun. Okay. Anybody, so you guys can jump in popcorn style. What do you look forward to the most in 2022?
What we look forward to is we've got a certain goal in mind with our cross-border program. So for me, that's hitting that goal before mid-year.
Yeah.
So buying in Florida, is that what it is? Or
yeah, we're going to buy one property in Florida.
Yeah.
The one in Mexico just is in the works right now, and then doing millions and millions of dollars cross-border.
Awesome. What is your favorite real estate book or podcast?
Ooh, mine's the Andrew Hines podcast. I think it's life-changing.
It's on Spotify. And my, like, yeah, Amy sends everything to me, so it's nice I get to listen to them all.
If you're not selling real estate, what other career do you think you'd be in?
Ooh, house. Oh gosh, everything's related to real estate. I'm like house flipping. No. Yeah, I would say probably renovating homes and selling them. But does it have to be unrelated to real estate completely?
You know what? There's no parameters to this question. Like there's no rules if you're not selling real estate. So yeah, flipping would count. You can say that.
And with me, like, yeah, like not property management, but managing my own portfolio to to get it to where I want to be.
Name your superpower.
Lead gen.
Client relationships.
That is yours.
What is one piece of advice you have for those starting their career in real estate?
I would say find a mentor. So just find one person or, in your office that's willing to just, help you. And for me, it was like, I would go in front of, there was a gentleman at my office when I was working there, and I said, can I just come to your open house? Can I come sit in on, can I listen to you when you talk on the phone to a listing agent or a buyer's agent, just so I could soak up as much information as I possibly could. So I think the biggest thing would be finding a mentor that's, top agent in your office that you can learn from.
Almost similar to Amy's saying that you were like always read up on articles and listen to podcasts. Like it's kind of the same thing where just keep abreast of like the market, right?
Yes. Oh, for sure. And I think for mine, it would be remember that every person you meet, the rule of 1 to 3. So every person you meet, you can have access to about 3, we call them easy deals. And it might not sound easy, but if you really break it down and focus on that, it actually is really easy because that person has access to coworkers, they have family members, they have kids, or they have parents. So, if you really hone in on that this year, you'll do really well because maybe one of the family members wants a pre-sale, one wants, a vacation home, one wants, something in a certain area that you're specialized in. Like there's always access to so many things. It's really that mentality of a glass half full or a glass half empty. And for us, it's always overflowing that we just wish we had more hours of the day to catch them all.
Yeah. Well, I can introduce you to a really good systems manager who will increase it to the next level for you. But sounds like you guys are doing fine. And I know you guys mentioned your website. I know you guys mentioned your website before, but again, where can our listeners find you?
So it's amyandally.com. And then for Instagram, it's Amy Ames. So AMYAMZZ. And then it's Ally Ballam. So ALLYBALLAM.
Well, thank you, ladies. You guys have a wonderful weekend coming ahead. I know that you guys are probably fully booked for the days ahead. And thank you so much for sharing all your secrets. This is definitely going to I would boost the energy for a lot of the agents that are listening. You guys definitely finished each other's sentences, so I definitely agree you guys are on the same frequency, and I look forward to seeing you at Framework Retreats on February 2nd. Maybe just a quick second, I know you guys have to go, but just a quick second about what you're excited about to learn and at this retreat, and what you hope our members, the people that are going to be coming to the retreat, what you hope they will take away.
Yeah, I would say we're most excited for just sparking people right up because it has been a little depressing. And if you watch the news, it's just mundane. But I think that's why being under the same roof with people that want to do personal growth and really take hold of their business and their life, and even from meditation to yoga that we're going to do to brainstorming together, I think that's what we're excited for, is when you get together with like-minded individuals, the landscape changes, and that's where you should follow it. You should follow your heart. You should follow your, that feeling inside where you do feel like really uplifted, and listen to that. And that's what we're going to try to bring out of everyone in that room, is what does make you tick, and then how can we make that a beautiful life and how can we be as women, you know, making what we should be worth in even a monetary value, and not be, you know, I think we're a lot of the women out there are taught to be almost downplay success in a weird way, and we're still not at the level of a lot of our male counterparts, which has just been historically the way it is. And I think for Ally and I, our goal is to teach women how to make 7-8-figure businesses. When you're looking on Google and it's only teaching women how to make a 6-figure business, well, why can't we do 7 or 8? You know, we're so capable, we're such multitaskers, but I think it's being around women, you know, like us, and you know, we're excited to hear what you have to say too, Jenny. And it's rarely taking different walks of life and different women and how they do business, and then becoming a cool hybrid of that, and sponging up what works for you. So yeah, very excited about that retreat and any retreat after that. So.
Well, I'm so excited to see you guys there, February 2nd. Looking forward to that. And thank you again for your time and sharing some of your secrets about your business.
Thanks for having us.
We had a great time.
Thanks, guys.